Three, two, one, and welcome to the Experience Podcast with myself, Amir Lamden, and today my guest is the human crane, Rich Sadiv. So, Rich, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure being here.
All right, and I just wanted to give the audience a little bit of information about you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what your background is, where you grew up, and how you got to where you are right now.
Well, I think it's probably easiest to start where I am now. I'm currently the owner of the Parisi Speed School over here in Fair Lawn, New Jersey. For those of you that don't know who are listening in, it's probably one of the largest training facilities, especially for youth athletes in the country. We usually train anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 athletes a month here, various abilities from the ages of 6 up to the ages of, say, 30. And we obviously have a very large training for warriors component here also. My background outside of this, I'm still a competitive power lifter at the age of 52. I hold probably about a dozen or so different records, state, national, and world records in the WNPF, the World Natural Powerlifting Federation. By the nickname the Human Crane, I am mostly known for my deadlift. And previous to this experience, I worked at UPS for 28 years, where I started right out of high school, worked my way through college, and I worked my way through the ranks of a part-timer, unloading trailers, all the way up to an operations manager. I'm married for 28 years, and I have 2 daughters, Samantha and Nicole, 22 and 25.
Awesome. So you definitely have quite the handful of experience, which is exactly why we are honored to have you on here. Just wanted to ask you a few questions as far as, some of those great accomplishments and some of those experiences. My first question would be, if you could tell somebody that's either, that's starting to, since your deadlifting is probably one of your calling card, what would you tell somebody? What would be 3 things you would tell them to focus on when it comes to succeeding in that area?
Well, I'll say this as a very interesting thing. For me, my vehicle, again, I think everyone needs to be known for something, have some type of legacy. And I would really think the first thing is to figure out what it's going to be. For me, I kind of figured out that, wow, I'm pretty good at the deadlift. And I made sure that, I pursued that, learned as much about the lift, competed as often as possible, spoke to many different people about, the actual lift to become as proficient in as possible. I think everyone is born to do something very, very well. Then it's up to them to try to figure out how to take it, to the full potential of what they can do. If it's deadlifting, if it's sprinting, if it's mathematics, if it's playing an instrument, whatever it is, I would say the first thing is figure out what you're really, really good at. The second thing, find out as much as you can about that thing, either through experience or through other people who are really, really good at it. And then once you've done those 2 things, just stay persistent at it. I think I've been competing for over 30 years now. And I'll say one thing, I'll compete till hopefully to stay high, because again, it is something I enjoy. And I really feel it's something that I've been put on this planet to do.
That's awesome. So, what do you think usually stops, I'm going to jump around with the questions a little bit, but what do you think stops people usually from obtaining, I would say that, look, I could definitely tell you're definitely my, mentor, or a figure that I want to, follow when it comes to not just strength in the deadlift, but maintaining it for many, many years. And so what would you say you think usually stops people from obtaining that goal of achieving, either greatness or just persistence and, longevity?
I think the word, it's interesting that you say the word greatness. I think that scares a lot of people. Now, I don't know if it's self-doubt or other people telling them you can't be great. I think in today's day and age, there's so many people trying to put people down instead of picking them up. So what happens is if you have any self-doubt in your mind, when the critics start to come out, I think it really, it really takes a very strong person, to keep to their guns, so to speak, to keep to really, doing what they believe they should be doing. If there's any self-doubt, once the critics start to say, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, you can't do this, you can't do that, give that up, don't do this, a lot of people will, unfortunately, give up. So I think the biggest thing is you need to really have a strong will and believe in what you're doing.
So is that, you think, that mindset, what do you think is that, I don't want to say separates you from succeeding in your sport, but, even at the top of the sport, you're going to have, look, you're not just at the top of the sport, you're at the top of the sport for many, many, many years. So what do you think that, as far as your mindset, that separated you from the others, that still were doing it, but, you're just, again, at that next level?
Again, I think it's my calling. Since it's my calling, I need to, I didn't really push that envelope. To me, it's almost like I have an obligation. I feel like it's a gift I've been given, and if I don't share it, then I'm really, I'm not being true to the gift. I forget the actual quote that Steve Prefontaine once said. You're not being true to the gift if you don't go out and give it. So for me, performing and staying true to the gift is basically, preparing myself, doing whatever I can, even at the age of 52, to make sure that when I do take the platform, I do, give it my all. Either usually in practice leading up to the actual competition. So again, I think it's really just a gift I can give it, and that's the way I really express it, is by being able to do it for a long period of time and really sharing it with others, either through coaching or actually performing.
And that you feel that's what helps prepare you best for competing.
Absolutely. That is the true mindset. The true mindset is, wow, how many people haven't seen me lift? Like this last competition I did was a couple of weeks ago. Where people actually came up to me and said, wow, it's actually very humbling for me, because again, in this very small world, I always tell my wife, I always kid about it, in this very, very small, tiny world, I'm famous. Backstage at a competition, people know me as a human crane. I go across the street to the Dunkin' Donuts, I'm just another person waiting for the glove. But there are people who've never seen me compete. There are people who come up to me this last meeting and says, wow, the human crane, I've never seen you lift before. This is gonna be quite the show. Boy, that really, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure, but again, I feel obligated.
That's amazing. I mean, again, I've got to watch you lift, and it's an honor and get to lift with you, and I can tell you that for sure, it is a spectacle and an honor to see, such great accomplishments happen in front of you. You don't realize it when you see it in video, but when it's up close and personal like that, it's definitely something unique.
Even like you saying that, if I could, that to me, just hearing you say that gets me excited. And again, as long as I can keep on doing that, inspiring others and just touching as many pulses as I can in person, and hey, either being in Long Island doing it or some of the TFW events, that's what really charges me up. I really, really feel like, yeah, it's a spectacle. I have to put on a show. I really feel like I am a performer. I really don't want to let anyone down.
Well, you definitely don't. or I've yet to see it happen. And after so many years of lifting, that's definitely a big accomplishment. So what I would ask next is, what would you say over the years, the 3 things that have, maybe been roadblocks that you've had to overcome that have made you now, I guess, maybe the strong-minded, or do you feel like your mentality has always been the same, or do you feel certain experiences along the years have changed, evolved you, or changed your mindset?
Well, I think, obviously, like I said, my children are already grown, so, raising a family, obviously, someone call it a roadblock, but it is the most important job you'll ever have. So what starts to happen is, if it's lifting, or even if it's, some of your business success, or some of the hours you spend, on your business or trying to develop a business. But raising a family really is it is the greatest and probably the most challenging of jobs, the most rewarding of jobs. So, raising my two daughters with my wife obviously took a lot of time, took a lot of effort, and a lot of times during those formative years for my children, the lifting obviously starts taking a little bit of a back seat. And I think coming through that, now to the point where my children are grown and basically, on their own, finding their way in the world, I could really focus on the lifting. I think that really has made me stronger now to this point, even though, again, I am a little bit on the 52 is not really the peak years of strength.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, look, again, Rich, so you say that, but I'm 34 and I'm still trying to catch you, so, and I got a couple pounds on you, but I'm going to just ask you a few more questions and then I'll let you go. But as far as the deadlift, when it comes to technique in the deadlift, what do you would say, are the three things that you try to keep in mind always when you're approaching the bar?
Well, I think it's even before that. I think it's the practice. I think I always like to use the word practice. I practice the lift a lot. And I think the preparation, it's really just, it has to become second nature. So there's one day I spend just basically on, moving the bar very rapidly with perfect form. Then another day I work on more, absolute strength. But when it comes to, one lift max, it really is, it's just being confident, locking yourself in and really, really just applying as much force to the bar as possible. But again, that comes through practice where I know when I'm at that bar, I'm not really thinking about anything else but applying as much force as possible. Like I hear a lot of people, we'll speak about the lift here at the facility and during training, it's like going through this incredibly long checklist. I feel like sometimes you can hamstring yourself by being too over-analytical. You need to practice it, get really, really good form, maybe videotape yourself, get yourself into a good position, and just repeat it over and over again. This way, eventually it does become second nature, like tying your shoes. So this way you can really you can really apply force without even thinking about it.
Yeah, I definitely try to mimic that. Watching you over the years, whether it's live in person or on YouTube, seeing the way you approach the bar like you're going into battle, and I think that I've tried to take that approach and teach my students that approach as well. That hey, listen, especially on a 1 rep max, it's you or the bar kind of mentality, and just grip it, rip it, and don't be, and knowing, like you said, that practice of going to the bar and have been practicing it and doing it, and I followed one of your program a couple years ago, and the one that I recently did where that helped me jump big time, and so I definitely would say you're right on the money when it comes to the approach. What would you say? How would you say maybe the mentality you have with your lifting and coaching has translated maybe into the way you run your business, or the way or vice versa, the business affects your coaching or family?
Well, I'll say a lot of my business acumen does come from my previous experience at UPS, and I would say my number one thing is supply a lot of quality. Everything we do here, I get the best state of the art equipment there is out there. I make sure we have everything we need, all the coaches need, and I expend the money. I think I have a world class facility, and then I think the business will follow. And so it's kind of like, I learned enough from UPS. UPS isn't, a second-rate company. They don't charge less prices. Actually, it's the opposite. They charge premium prices because you have premium service, premium quality. So I have taken that and I've brought it here. I have whatever anyone could possibly need is here. And I feel that's the way to do it. You supply quality, and then the business will follow.
Awesome. So you feel like that has helped shape you, and UPS helped you as far as shape you into business side of things? more?
Yeah, I learned, I learned so much, at the hand of UPS, because I started working there when I was 18. I worked, there for 28 years in, various capacity, middle management, a little bit of the upper management side of the company, and I learned how to run a business, I think the right way. And then I took some of the things I didn't like at UPS, I kind of discarded them and, put my own touches on it here. But really, as far as like the quality aspect of it, and the way UPS did it, and that's how I do it. That's how I do things over here. I kind of really associate myself with that being like a really quality place. Come in here, it's like, wow, we have the state-of-the-art treadmills, we have every possible kind of bar, the Olympic grade Mondo track. It's just, people come in here and I want them to be wowed. So they're willing to say, hey, I don't care what the price is, this is a place to train. I've always felt, that's a model from UPS.
So you would say the UPS is a big influence there, but who would you say maybe as far as 3 people maybe that have influenced you in whether it's coaching or running a fitness industry, fitness facility? Sorry, 3 people.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The first person obviously would be Martin Rooney. Martin I met here a little over a decade ago, and he really definitely has shaped a lot of my thinking, especially when it comes to the coaching. And I really learned a lot by Martin, and he's been a great mentor to me. Then UPS, I had a mentor early on. His name was Kenny King. He was like my first manager when I was a supervisor. He really, he basically taught me basically a lot about the business and how to act, how to treat people. Then, then obviously my wife, who's been my greatest supporter for the last we've known each other like 30 years now. And I always tell people, I'm a little bit older than most here that work here, and we always talk about relationships and stuff. I say, if you get into a relationship, you're looking to get married, find somebody who's going to not just support you, but make you better. And I would say my wife has definitely made me better.
That's awesome. Just one last question, and then we'll let you go, Coach. But what's going on right now with you? I mean, look, you're one of the hardest working guys I know. So, what are some current things that you have lined up as far as whether working with some athletes? I saw the other day some new sprint work you guys are working on. So, what would be some things?
Very excited about that. Yeah, I purchased these 2 high-speed treadmills. They're from this company called Tough Tread down in Texas. They actually flew me down there to take a look at them, and I was hooked. They go 31 miles an hour up to an incline of 40 degrees. So I've been using them a lot. I'm glad you appreciate those videos. I have a nice college NFL group that comes in every day at 11:30. So twice a week we're on that. It's very, very exciting. We're getting some of our higher level high school athletes on that. We're having a really nice quarter. Doing a lot of camp work. The membership's really up. Just installed 5 new Raptors. It's the Vertimax. It came off the Vertimax had the platforms. Now the attachments out the platform you can put right on the wall. So I've got 5 of those in lanes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on our track. We're getting some really nice use out of that. Then I got this really nice isokinetic piece that hasn't come on market yet, but I'm testing it out right now for a company. To me, it's really the wave of the fitness or performance training. Isokinetic with accommodating resistance. It's really a nice piece. So I'm really excited about that. So we got a lot going on. It's been really exciting. Our staff is doing a really nice job, and it's again, we put the quality out there. People just show up, and I love it. Like, it's just every day. It's a great day to be here.
Do you feel some of those pieces of equipment are, game changers for training your top level athletes?
It's interesting that you said that. It's funny. I very rarely use that term, but it's funny. I was saying that the other day to somebody. I very rarely use the term game changer. But those high speed treadmills, those are a game changer. They really are, because they're safe because of the length of them. They're easy to get on and off. They're running at an incline, so it's hard to overstride. And they're so smooth, and they're 6 feet long. What a beautiful piece. And really, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to take these elite athletes and make substantial gains you can fine tune them, you can make them a little bit better. But to see a couple professional football players here now, and just to make them like, wow, they came to me, they're like, wow, I can't believe how this has changed me. Hearing that from a 5-year vet in the NFL, it's like wow, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Those treadmills are game changers.
Yeah,
Sure.
it allows you to really see stride per stride, huh?
Oh my gosh, the frequency, the technique. It's just you got to really, it puts you in a great running position, and it definitely pulls out the flaws of core stiffness, back front side mechanic, arm action. It's really a great piece.
Awesome. Well, Coach, I can't thank you enough for your time today, and all the time you always spend sharing your knowledge. And I keep looking forward to more and more of our meetings, and I hope to see you soon. Again, thank you so much for your time. And,
it was my pleasure. It's always great talking to you, and stop by anytime you like. The door is always welcome. It's open to anyone who wants to come by and get a training session there. Just go see the facility.
I will definitely take you up on that very shortly, sir. So thank you again, Rich. Have a great day. And guys, we will be back with another great episode. Follow Coach. Where can they follow you, Coach?
It's the spelling of the last name is Sadiv Human Crane. It's on Instagram, and it's the same Sadiv Human Crane on Twitter also.
All right, guys. So check them out. You'll definitely enjoy some of the lifts.